Hello, I am Dan Artosis-Stemkowski alongside Nick Tasteless-Plot, and we are here to bring you the ESWC Asian Masters of Cheonan. And this is very exciting because it's the first time that StarCraft has been in ESWC.
Yeah, this is a big moment in esports history. We're seeing more and more StarCraft tournaments going on around the world. And of course, I think part of the reason behind this is that StarCraft 2 is coming out. But again, thank you so much to the ESWC for giving StarCraft a chance. So far, it's been quite a success.
It has. You know, we're going to have 4 players at the final. One is going to be a Korean player yet to be announced. One is the Chinese player Super. Another is White Raw from the Ukraine. And now tonight we are going to crown the American champion between North and South America. And fittingly enough, we have a North American against a South American, IdrA against Fenix.
Yeah, and remember, this is going to be a pretty tough qualifier, or well, it already has been, because there are so many good players in North and South America. The United States is doing very well in StarCraft, and of course, you know, with all the South Americans training together, they really want to beat IdrA.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
It's almost like South America against IdrA right now. Everyone's hopes are laying on Fenix. Can he do it? Can he take out the CJ Pro Gamer? You know, I don't know, but I'm getting pretty excited. IdrA's going to start up 1-0 because of the winner bracket win. He's chosen Neo Harmony. Let's just get right into it.
Let's do this.
All right, well, here we are. The first map is Neo Medusa. This was Neo Medusa. Neo Harmony. Thinking about those new Pro League maps too much, I tell you. Neo Harmony. And IdrA has chosen this map coming out of the winner bracket, of course. And it is a good map for Terran versus Protoss.
Yeah, it certainly is. These are two Titans we're seeing here. Easily two of the best players from this part of the world. Even though obviously IdrA is a Korean pro gamer right now, he is of course born and raised in the United States, so that's why he's playing in this section of the tournament.
And you know, Fenix is probably not someone most thought they would see in the finals of this tournament.
Yeah.
But you know what? He is actually a very good player. He's actually got a lot of accomplishments, and when it comes tournament time, Fenix does pretty well because he mixes in a lot of very strong, cheesy play with, you know, solid mechanics, good micro.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that's key to beating somebody who's like Greg, who plays like IdrA, because Greg is one of these guys, he never rushes, he never deviates from the norm, and that makes him pretty much about as predictable as you can be. So if you can get an edge on him early on, and your macro solid enough, you can come out with a win most likely.
Yeah, that's totally true, and IdrA is aware of this because I was talking to him before the tournament began, and he let me know that he actually was hoping for Fenix to upset JF, and so that he would have to face,
Really?
or rather, he was hoping JF would not lose to Fenix. So
Really?
he did not want to play Fenix. He would rather play against JF, who is a more normal type player, as opposed to Fenix, who, I mean, he will put gateways in your base if you give him the chance.
Yeah, exactly. JF, he's certainly a very good professional gamer, and he's actually made a lot more than most Korean professional gamers. A lot of people don't know that, but that is true. What I just said there, JF makes more than most Korean professional gamers just in his tournament winnings year-round, but he's certainly more of a stable player. Actually, you know what? Stable's not even the right word. He plays the way that most normal Protoss players play.
Yeah.
He doesn't do a lot of aggressive, wild strategies, and you know, it's not like there's one right way to play this game. That's what makes StarCraft so awesome, so beautiful, is that there are a whole bunch of different ways you can play and still win. So I think, unfortunately for Greg, he's going to have a little bit of a tricky time here against this player who, on paper, should, well, be very tough for him to beat.
Yeah, and you know, I think he is going to be pretty tough for him to beat. Fenix, his style, as we've gone over several times now, it is cheesy. Greg's is, or rather IdrA's, is a very standard. So I think what we're going to see basically, because these two have hit each other before, Fenix knows how he plays, he knows how to beat him. I think it's going to be a very tight series, and I think what we're going to see is, IdrA trying to play his safest macro possible, and Fenix doing some wild builds against it.
Certainly. Look, if I was in Phoenix's position, I would be doing the same thing. I wouldn't do, for instance, a 1-gate into range, into Nexus, into 3-gate robo build. I would be doing something like hiding buildings outside of his base. I would be doing a fast Reaver build, all sorts of stuff like that, fast DT drops, because I think Fenix is actually one of the players who plays a lot more like I do, and that's certainly what I do when I play against IdrA.
Yeah, and a good rule of thumb against IdrA with Protoss is, you either stay on 2 base, 1 base, or 5 base.
Right.
3 and 4 base area, that's standard. That is the way that Protoss is supposed to play.
Yeah.
And
the
that is what IdrA
example,
is good against. So, I mean, you want to, 1 base cheese him, 2 base cheese him, or just cheese in the fact that you have expanded way more than you should, and any aggressive player would kill you.
Yeah, just kill off SCVs and expand in irregular locations, because Greg is most likely, I know I'm supposed to be calling him IdrA, but I know I'm on a personal level. IdrA is going to be scanning the locations that our Protoss players are most likely to expand to. So that's really, if you want to beat IdrA, that's how to do it. You have to deviate from the norm.
Yeah, and if IdrA doesn't end up figuring that out, Fenix could definitely take this game. IdrA already in Korea. I'm sure he definitely wants to make it to the ESWC.
Yeah.
Especially considering this is probably the last one ever.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. So this is a big moment here. ESWC, of course, a wonderful tournament. We do appreciate them putting StarCraft in there. Now, here comes the ranged Dragoon Rush. Now, he did spot the command center. I question if IdrA should have positioned that in a location that would be so easy to spot. But then again, IdrA seems to be aware that people know how he plays. He doesn't seem to care that much. He just says, look, I'm going to out-muscle you in most of my games. And I guess that's what he's telling Fenix right now.
That is a pretty youthful way to look at the game, and he scouts out the quick Nexus from Fenix along with a Robo. So, unfortunately, Fenix isn't doing anything too cheesy right now.
I think Fenix thought he would get that SCV before it got to the expansion, and now he's been spotted. Because, usually you never want to reveal after getting one robotics facility that you're going to get a Nexus like that. But at the same time, you kind of have to expand to some degree, because there's really nothing you can do if you let the Terran get ahead of you in Expos.
Yeah, and if IdrA plays this just right now, he's seen that Robo, he's seen the expansion, he has to expect Reaver.
Right.
And we see that, Fenix is in fact going to go for Reaver. I mean, you kind of have to in this kind of game. That's already the tech route that he has. It's a long map. Reaver is a good choice. But if IdrA blocks this just right, how is Fenix going to end up coming back from that? Because, as you can see, IdrA's command center, a good deal quicker than the Nexus.